There's a crack in it, so
Oh yeah.
I want to get the prettier side. So we are in the natural element. I thought it was nice since it's not raining, but it's still kind of cool out. So good evening. Today is August 10th. It's Friday. There's a new moon tomorrow, so set those intentions. So this is Alexa Joan, the second installment of Ask Alexa. Thanks so much for tuning in to the first one. That was pretty awesome. And this day we are talking about sugar and desserts. Something that I love, but I can no longer eat. Somebody asked me recently, or asked one of the questions, can you suggest a dessert that has no sweeteners in it, no added sugars, no honey, no maple syrup, no artificial sweeteners, or anything of the likes? And it's interesting that they asked that question because right now that is what I'm focusing on. I love desserts. I didn't always love them, but I do love desserts. But recently I discovered that I cannot have or enjoy sugar as much as I used to. So now I am on the hunt for foods that don't have a lot of sugar, desserts and treats that don't have a lot of sugar, or just natural treats that I can enjoy that still kind of, deal with that craving that I get every once in a while. So, my one suggestion is if you're ever really craving something and you really can't have any added sugar, what I've kind of discovered is my own little Snickers bar. I take a medjool date, I take out the pit, I stuff it with crunchy almond butter or crunchy cashew butter, and then I put a little sea salt on it, and that's my Snickers bar. So that was really the first thing that I started doing when it came to eating no sugar. But I have come a little further than that. And today I actually tried something that I haven't done in a while. So Annie Hoover, to answer your question, I have created a galette. A galette with no extra sugar, only fruit. If you're wondering what a galette is, it's basically a pie, but it's a free-form pie. Some call it a rustic tart. It's something that you can throw together quickly. It can be sweet or savory, meaning you can use vegetables or cheeses for a savory version of it, or fresh fruit for a sweet version of it. And I actually added no sugar at all. The added challenge to this is that I had to make it gluten-free. So it is a bit on the high carb end, unfortunately. But outside of that, there's no added sugar, there's no cane sugar, there's no honey, there's no maple syrup. It's just fruit. And because I have cooked down the fruit, all of the natural sugars have kind of crystallized and come together, and the sweetness of the fruit has been enhanced. So the fruits that I selected to do today are a nectarine and plum. And I simply sectioned it off. I actually, you can use any type of pie dough. You can use a pie dough that is from the store that's already flattened out, or you can make your own. Because this is a free-form pie, I didn't even use a rolling pin. I just used my hands to flatten the dough. And then on the bottom, I put just a bit of a thickener. I put a little bit of crushed oats and crushed toasted almonds right underneath the fruit on top of the pie crust. And then I just did a spiral with the nectarines and the plums. And I folded the crust all around to kind of create a volcano, maybe. I guess that's a good analogy for it. Create a volcano. I put it in the oven at 400 for 40 minutes total about. And I just let everything cook down. I let the crust brown, and it turned out really great. I added flaxseed to this. I will say there are some benefits to having sugar in your desserts. Obviously, the chemical reaction of what sugar does to desserts. It balances flavor. It creates caramelization and brownness, which is good for coloring of a dessert to make it more attractive, to make it more appealing. So there are really some good benefits to sugar. Unfortunately, it's not really good on our bodies, and it really wreaks havoc on us. So anything that you can use to substitute sugar, especially in desserts, using fresh fruits, using dried fruits, using vegetables that have a high sugar content. So that's really what I would suggest. I can definitely elaborate on this. I will be doing a lot of research on my own. I will be adding more videos related to this topic and probably putting some recipes up on my website, which is www.alexajoan.com, so that you can maybe explore and see some of the things that I've tried. And if you have any other suggestions, I would love them, because as I've already said, I can't eat sugar and I love desserts. So any other suggestions would be really good. So right now, Idris and I are going to try it, and he'll be the true critic because he has a really big sweet tooth. So it's not a lie. Well, you haven't been eating a lot of sugar lately, but historically, you have a big sweet tooth.
No, I just like sweets.
That too. You want me to cut it now?
This looks really
Ooh, look, local fruit pies.
yummy. Yeah, this came in the mail today. Right? How serendipitous.
Is that co-op?
Yep.
Lexa Co-op. Get your local fruits. You can go to Lexa Co-op. You can also go to Farmers and Artisans on Main Street. Some great farmers markets all over the place.
Is this a peach or a nectarine?
Nectarine and plum. See how that crust is nice and thick?
That's very, very good. It's subtle. It's
Is
not
it?
sweet at all.
Very good. Now, if you're used to or regularly eat sweets, you may think that this doesn't have any flavor or anything like that. But for someone who hasn't had sweets for a really long time, it's almost too sweet, because the fruit has cooked down so much and the pectin from the fruit has kind of thickened everything up. But if you are someone who still eats sweets, no judgment, you can still make this. You can add a little sweetness to your dough before you form it into the galette, or when you prepare your fruit, after you cut it up, toss in a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, not a lot, just a little bit of sugar, and maybe some cornstarch if you want a little bit of thickener. If there's a lot of juices from your natural fruit that's going to cook down, if you add a little bit of cornstarch, that'll kind of thicken it up a little bit so it's not running all over the place. But I mean, this is good. I love this. I haven't made it in a long time. So Annie, thank you so much for asking that question, because it reminded me that it's something simple that I can do, and it's also something that I can easily make into gluten-free. So if you have any other questions, feel free to DM me or send me a message or send me an email. I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. Not necessarily the pie, but actually talking to you and getting some good feedback from you all. So thank you for asking, Alexa, and I look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow. Have a good one.